Hey, what's up, Street Talks? It's Eric from the Eric and Street Photography blog. So exciting news! I just bought a new Leica M10 and 0.95 NOCTILUX. Just kidding. I just borrowing it from my friend Ben, and I just had a little time today to just play with it. I just want to give some quick thoughts. So first of all, the new thing with the new Leica M10 is the body's a lot slimmer. It's about the same size as the film Leicas. I personally loved the slimness of the film Leica MP, which I have at home. And Leica, you guys did an incredible job of slimming down the design. So purely from an aesthetic standpoint, it looks a lot nicer and just looks more aesthetically pleasing. I'm going to take off this accessory thumb thingy, which I think is totally superfluous. The other big thing that Leica's done, they added this little ISO knob. And from a design standpoint, I think this is really cool and innovative and goes back to the old school of film. What I don't like about it is that it's actually a little bit hard to pull up. So what I usually do is I just have to put my fingernails here on the side to essentially pull it up, and it's actually like a little bit too stiff to pull up. And sometimes I'll even hold the other hand to just try to reach over and pull it up. And as a total Leica fanboy, I love the film Leica. I almost expect the side thing to pop up all the way up, whereas here you see it only kind of pops up like halfway, which is a little bit awkward. I think hopefully in the next M11 or something like that, they could make it go all the way up just to have the heritage of the film Leicas. Also, I'm not a big fan of this little red dash here because you're gonna know if it's up or not because it's if you're just looking at the camera from the side, you're gonna see that ISO thing is up. So you don't really need some sort of indication, the red indication, to know that your ISO dial is up. I think the concept, it's kind of a good idea, so you could quickly see if it's up or not. But I think most people who are going to shoot with this camera are going to know if it's up or not. So turn that down. In terms of the ISO, you could change it. I usually keep it at 1600. And also another thing that they did, which was really good, is they simplified the back screen. So even the three buttons here, it's live view. So if I turn on the camera on the top, also another thing they've done is they try to simplify it. So it's either on or off, which is nice. I don't think they need the little white dot or the red dot because you're going to know if it's on or off anyways. But it's good that there's no longer any like on the prior versions they would have continuous mode, single mode, and selfie mode or something like that, and they made it a lot simpler. And also this is totally random too, is I think it doesn't need to say like M10. If you just made this all black, it would look way cooler because you already know it's an M10 because once again it has the new dial. Anyways, going back to live view, so you can press live view, turn to live view, focus, whatnot. You also have just the simple, you can turn that off, the playback menu. So you could click that and you could just kind of go through images, or you could click menu to go through the different menu settings. Sorry, my webcam kind of sucks and it's a little bit hard to describe. The good thing about the new menu system is they simplified it, and small little design considerations. I'm actually not a big fan of the little square buttons. I think it's something that they took from the new Leica SL. I think round buttons would make more sense aesthetically because you have a round shape here, round shape here, and I think it would just look nicer. And also, I don't think you need these little blinking light things here because I found that when I was making photos and it was like blinking red or something like that. It just to me, it was a little distracting. The shutter sound, it sounds a lot nicer in my opinion. It's a little bit quieter than the older Leica. So if you hear the sound of the shutter, it's to me it's still pretty audible. So if you take a photo in a quiet place, people can still hear you taking photos, but not like the M9 where it goes. And what else? So also in the back of the M, you have this little thumb rest, which is actually quite comfortable. You could change this little thing here to exposure compensation, which is very useful. This is my buddy Ben's camera. He has the hand grip. I think it's useful to have, especially if you have like this freaking heavy ass NOCTILUX, which I actually don't recommend most normal people to buy. in terms of the operation speed, it's really fast. So you could just go click, 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 click it, and it essentially buffers instantly. I looked at the image quality. Image quality looks fantastic. And let's see what else. The NOCTILUX lens, of course, you're going to be shooting everything at 0.95. I'm actually not that big a fan of bokeh. I think that great photos should have foreground, middle ground, and background. So usually when I'm shooting street photography, I prefer 35mm lens. I'm usually at like f8, just f8, keep my ISO at 1600, and I just use aperture priority mode. And the reason I do not like bokeh in photography is you just blur out the background, and therefore the scene loses depth and complexity. And I think often the background is more interesting than the foreground. But if you want to take nice portraits of your cappuccino or wine glass or nice portraits of people, 0.95 looks nice. And yeah, in terms of the bokeh, yeah, it looks really nice. It's nice and creamy and sharp or whatnot. Once again, but I still think photography is much more about um, capturing depth and emotion rather than depth of field. Overall, with the camera, I mean, I'm just nitpicking, but I mean, obviously by far the best digital Leica that Leica's put together. So, engineer team, I know you probably faced a lot of difficulties trying to simplify everything, and I think you guys did an amazing job. And I don't want to knock any of you guys' hard work. I would encourage maybe for the next M11 or M10P or whatnot, yeah, just to keep staying true to the Leica's roots of simplifying, stripping the superfluous. I personally will not buy a Leica M10 because I already have a film Leica. The problem with buying a new digital anything is the second it's like buying a car. You take it off the lot, instantly loses 30% of value. My recommendation is right now is actually probably a good time to buy used Leica M9. I'm not a big fan of the M240. I think it's too fat and chunky, and I think the CCD sensor, the colors look nicer on the M9, even though you probably can't shoot color above ISO 400 on the M9. But when I had the M9, I would shoot ISO 2500 all the time, but I was shooting mostly black and white. So if you really want digital Leica, I think right now is a really good time to pick up a used M9 because, you know, the M240 and now the M10, and people are going to be trying to throw away their older cameras. Or if you like black and white, pick up an old M8 or M8.2. Camera is slow as hell, but the black and white files look great. Or hit up my buddy Bellamy Hunt, Japan Camera Hunter, pick up a film Leica because this thing is not going to last 10 years. Film Leica is going to last you for the rest of your life. In terms of lens recommendations, I personally love the 35mm f2 Summicron spherical, which is the newest one. Better yet, the 35mm f2.4. It's smaller and lighter and cheaper. And I think with lenses, you always want a smaller, lighter lens than a bigger, heavier lens. Or save yourself like $7,000-$10,000 and just buy a Ricoh GR version 2, which I always have with me because it's small, light, and fits inside my pocket. This is actually the Ricoh GR2P version. Note the black tape there. For only $1,000, send your Ricoh to me and I'll black it out for you. It'll only be $1,000. No, I'm just kidding. And I know a lot of guys who shoot street photography or just photography every day. Even having a Leica with a small lens, it's kind of a hard everyday camera to have because it doesn't fit in your front pocket and most people have jobs and whatnot. I'd rather recommend an everyday camera as a Ricoh GR version 2, using an iPhone. I recently, so here in Bangkok, as part of Monogram Asia street photography event, and met some amazing photographers, Ogsy, Brendan, Sheldon, and a bunch of other guys whose names I'm probably forgetting. And so, yeah, like the iPhone 7 Plus with the dual lens, it's pretty cool. They're doing a lot of innovative stuff with that. If you're rich and you like buying toys, buy. Buy the new M10, buy the NOCTILUX, buy all the toys because you're going to die one day and you're going to be able to take all your Leicas and Rolexes with you. And ultimately, I think money is always better spent on experiences like traveling, buying photo books, attending workshops, going out with a beer with your friends, or buying a coffee for a friend. Much, much, much more so than buying any sort of camera or gadget, which is going to become obsolete until the next M11, M12, and whatever comes out. So I had a great time here in Bangkok as part of Monogram Asia. It was really amazing for me to share some of my life experiences, meet all these new guys. I'm like super inspired, have all these new ideas with like shooting with smartphones and the democratization of photography feature with it. I've only been away from Cindy in Hanoi for about 4 days, and I miss you dearly. I miss you, Cindy. I'm gonna see you soon. I'm pretty excited, and yeah, I'm expect me to do a lot more YouTube videos, a lot more blogging, and hopefully just to help you guys out because I got nothing but love for you guys. And to give a last shout out, because I know Cindy's probably watching this. If you're really passionate about street photography, please, please, please pick up a copy of Street Notes. It's essentially everything I taught about street photography in a small little convenient book. So I'll give you guys the unboxing. So this is what it looks like outside. Nice and simple. And credit to Cindy and Haptic Industries for doing 100% of the work. I didn't do anything. I'm just helping promote it. So everything I learned about street photography the last 10 years, I wanted to create a nice little handy manual. So this is what it looks like. Street Notes, a workbook and assignments journal for street photographers, Haptic Press, written by Kim, edited by Cindy A. Wynn, printed in California. Yes, printed in California. First edition, pretty cool. And the great thing about Street Notes is that the size of it should fit in your front pocket, very convenient, or even fit in your front pocket or your back pocket. And the way I'd recommend you guys to use this is to essentially just kind of use it as a personal way to reflect and meditate on your photography. And one thing I recommend to do is just, essentially just kind of flipping through it and trying out different street photography assignments. And so if you're out just shooting on the streets and you want inspiration, it's a good way to just find some practical street photography assignments. So, one of the assignments is subtract, subtract, subtract. Has some of my photos, has some space for you to write down your personal reflections. Also, all the way in the back of the book, have these little practical tips. So compositional tips, taking steps closer, look in the background, work in the scene, golden triangle, rule of thirds, Fibonacci spiral. Technical quick tips, 2 arm lengths is 1.2 meters. Like this is actually like, obviously I'm biased because I'm this is ours, but it's actually a really, really good book and big inspiration from Field Notes. I use their products for a very, very long time, and I think the format and the size is perfect. And yeah, if you guys are curious, I'll just kind of give you guys quick flip through. So Street Notes, you first start off by putting why you love street photography, how you define street photography, how it inspires you. Then moving forward, you can look at all the different street photography assignments. There's 15 of them in there. First assignment, the 5 yes, 5 no challenge. 10 no challenge. Getting a nice clean background, one of my favorite photos, my Tokyo series. And subtract, subtract, subtract. Assignment number 5. Add, add, add. Assignment number 6. Only shoot in 1 square block for your street photography. Assignment 7. The Zen of 1 camera, 1 lens. This section is actually pretty good. And each section has a different assignment. So like the 1 arm length challenge. Quote from Rob Coppa, if your photos aren't good enough, you're not close enough. Giving yourself the chance to do your assignment, reflect what to do, what not to do. Assignment 8. If you have trouble with your trigger finger to take a lot of photos, take 1,000 photos in a day and reflect on that. Depth. So for those guys who like Alex Webb and shooting with depth and layers, this is a good assignment. Don't move. Stay in one point and shoot street photography for one spot for 30 minutes or hour or however long so you guys want. If you shoot film, shoot 1 roll of film a day, or if you shoot digital, shoot at least 36 photos a day. 13, capture gestures. because capturing gestures shows more heart and emotion and soul. It makes more interesting street photography. If you like color, shoot the rainbow. Google Eric Kim color composition theory, and you can find some practical tips on that. We all love triangles. Also have done an article on shooting triangles, so you can check that out. And 40 more assignments. Take a screenshot of this if you want. Last one, 40. Start your own street photography blog and share the top 100 lessons you learned about street photography. And there's some extra spaces for you to write your own assignment ideas, your own notes. More space for notes because this is street notes. So hopefully you guys could fill it up. Once again, all the different compositional and technique skills. Pretty much all the information is available on my blog. And I've blogged about all these things once or twice, but the reason we made it was to give you something convenient and cool to just kind of put in your bag. And also, of course, whenever you buy this, this helps support me and Cindy, our life, our travels, and for the opportunity for us to keep doing what we do and giving back to the community. So pick up a copy of Street Notes and buy the new Leica M10 and 0.95 NOCTILUX, and you'll be happy for the rest of your life. Okay. Miss you, Cindy. I'm going to see you soon, and thanks so much for watching, guys. Love you guys. Peace out.